created quite the entertainment
Yeah.
for me.
Well, that's good.
No, and that didn't help it.
No, it didn't help it. It just does it when it records. I don't know,
Well,
man. It's
I don't know.
busted.
I just work here.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah. Well,
All right. So,
yeah.
how you been?
Hey,
You got over a little cold, a little
got over-
sickness,
got over a little sniffle.
a little death flu.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think it wasn't like a man cold because I had no energy. I just felt like I was dying.
Yeah, I saw you over the course of a week. I probably saw you a grand total of like maybe an hour over that whole week.
That sounds right. I
Yeah.
didn't go to my desk.
No,
I didn't cut my computer on
no.
for like the whole week. I mean, at all. You keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
Oh, if you can't hear it, that's my daughter. It is nap time, and she's not happy about it. And she's gotten to where she can walk and everything, and so she knows that if she knocks on the door, like that's I guess polite, but she's just sitting there like, "Let me out."
Let me out. It is not nap time. You were wrong, Mama. But yeah, so got over that. Still a little symptom, but I
Yeah.
feel great.
Yeah.
Just can't breathe like 100% like I normally can.
It's fine. Maybe it's not for you.
Maybe breathing. It's not for everybody, including you, Josh.
Oh,
Including you.
so funny. Like, you know how they do like take Tanazepam. You know, like, I don't know. We could do a little like breathing commercial. Maybe it's not for you.
And if none of these work, maybe breathing isn't for you.
Yeah. That'd be a funny video.
It would be. And of course, we'd have to delve into the side effects.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can get creative there.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has spoofed that, so we
Yeah.
have to get really creative, not to
fine.
copy everybody else, which I feel like we're not going to have a problem doing.
Nah.
Yeah, we can start there because my former boss, I'm going to call him an employee, current employee, your current boss, Mr. Joshua Hip,
Oh, yeah.
watched our latest video, Get Good Scrub.
He did.
And when you're done with this podcast, you should go watch that video.
Or you could pause and go watch it now. I'm not gonna put a gun to your head and make you do anything, but it'd be awesome if you did.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But you showed him the video, and from what you told me, he was like, "Where do you guys come up with this stuff at?"
Just wherever we just take a big old sack, like a leather skin sack.
Yeah.
We pour all the ideas into it, and then we take it and we stick it in our ass, pour it on in there. We do a little shake, and we just pull them right out of our ass. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, you've heard me talk about Bruce Pritchard. He was Vince McMahon's right hand man for years. Well, they accused, or there was a rumor that started because back in the mid '90s in WWF. Everybody had an occupation. Their gimmick was an occupation.
Yeah,
You had a garbage man. You had a Mountie.
Yeah, like Canadian Mountie?
Yeah, Canadian law enforcement.
Nice.
And, among other things. And a Red Rooster.
Huh?
The Red Rooster.
That's a...
That was a gimmick. That was a
Okay.
That was a thing.
It doesn't sound like a job to me, but who am I to judge?
No. So it's gonna illustrate the point that I'm gonna make here with the box of gimmicks that Bruce was accused of having. There was a rumor that I think he made a joke. It's like, oh yeah, no, we just have a box of gimmicks, and whatever we pull out, that's what you're gonna be.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, they just got a box of gimmicks. They just pull it out and decide the man's future and career. He's like, guys, there was no box of gimmicks.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a thing. The butt.
The butt is our box of gimmicks.
Is our box of gimmicks.
You know, there's no better gimmick than this intro.
Hey.
That works. Oh. That works. Welcome to the CS Podcast. Salutations, people good. What? So I was like, oh, intros, move lips, make noise.
Half talk, now good. Why use many when few words do good done?
Salutations, good people. Welcome to the CS Podcast, where we create stuff. Or if you're a Trey,
Create shit, apparently.
news to me, I've had a stroke. And today we have our hands absolutely full with early onset Alzheimer's for me. No, today we have our hands absolutely full
With, here you go, 6:30, Josh fucks up. Content creator name.
for the second time.
Huh?
For the second time already
Yeah.
since we've been going. Okay.
Well, yeah, Josh fucks up twice, but
So later, just a little spoiler, we're going to be featuring Old Time Hawkey from TikTok. I'm sure he's on other platforms.
he is. I went ahead and did a little bit of research before we hopped in. So he's got currently, and this is just a little brief overview, 2.1 million followers on TikTok. So he is definitely a bigger creator than we typically do. But I don't know. I love his content.
We
so
change it up from time to time
Yeah.
and make exceptions.
But you can also find Old Time Hawkey on YouTube at 22,000 subs and a little bit of merch on Teespring too under the same name.
Oh.
So we'll get to all that later.
Yep.
But just a little preface there. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you're in for it. I would also like to talk about something else we're going to be doing today. We do it every day here at the CS Podcast, and that is the Ryan's voicemail segment. And I have it written here, written down in writing. Probably the best one I've done. Quote, Ryan Holcomb, 2021. So,
Man, he must have known we were going to talk about him because I literally, as of 1 minute ago, got a text from him.
hey, well, he knows his podcast, eh? Like, I don't.
So, another spoiler. This is Friday, so 2 days from now we're going to have a video released.
Yeah, well, actually, it's Tuesday. The date of this airing is Friday.
Correct. That was my point. So 2 days from the time you guys are listening to this, there will be... Thank you, Trey.
You're welcome. Just got to keep you on your toes. Somebody's got to keep it all under wraps here.
So for you guys, 2 days from now,
Yeah.
there will be a video dropping.
Dropping. Here's a video dropping.
I did that on purpose. I'm not stroking
sure you
out
did.
for the third time.
7:46. Josh fucks up thrice.
Thrice. 7:47. Trey used the word thrice. So I asked Ryan if he would be willing to participate in our next video,
Yeah.
and he just responded with a dude yes.
Dude, yes. Fuck yeah, bud.
Yeah, bud. yeah, bud. I was like, yeah.
yeah.
So that should be fun. I'm excited. As of today, Tuesday, we've not started shooting that video, but I'm on my way up when we get through with this, and perhaps I get in a workout before I hit the road. I'm going to be paying a visit to the one and only Ryan Holcomb, who graces us every show with his voice. With his voice. And he'll be gracing us with his presence on Sunday. Every little screw up now, you're watching me. Now I'm under a magnifying glass.
No.
Quit pulling that pen out. It's the pen now. You're just like...
Got it locked and loaded. The pen is mightier than the sword.
I had Chris Jericho over there with me making the list. I told you, he
yeah.
got the pin click over.
Yeah, well, mine doesn't click, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
get good,
make-
scrub.
I'll make people pop with the pen pop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Make people pop with the pin pop. That's all I got.
Take a
So,
drink,
yeah.
center yourself.
So be looking forward to Ryan making his CS short debut. And yeah, so what have you been up to, sir?
Well, first, before we move any further, it is Tuesday.
Did you bring your coat?
Damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather. No, just kidding. Tuesday, August 3rd, which means it is the Hero Askew's
Yes.
birthday. I want to go
Yes.
ahead and formally give a shout out to Hero Askew. Now, this is going to be later, like you're going to see this Friday, so it's past his birthday. But as of the date of recording this, it is Hero's birthday, and I'd like to give him a shout out. I don't know, just for helping us out, for hanging out, for all your support, everything that you do for us. If you guys don't know, Hero is the new moderator for our live streams.
He is your new moderator,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you're a new moderator. It's for the whole everybody.
Yeah, it's to keep you. It's to keep you safe too.
Yeah.
man. And so I want to go ahead and apologize from the both of us that if you're watching on YouTube, we are having video doo-doo quality from OBS. Broadcasting software issues. The voice never gets affected, right? The audio never gets affected.
The voice. It's just the video.
It's just the video.
It's
It's
too much to process. I don't know.
Yeah,
That is a laptop from like 2011, so
oh
it's about 10 years old now.
well.
No, not 2011. That's wrong. I lied. 2014.
Oh, okay.
But still, pretty old.
It's the
7 years.
model of my car,
Oh, well, that's
or
cool.
the year of my car. Yeah.
Well, I got my laptop and you got your car.
Well, what if they know each other? What if they're in the same class together?
Yeah. Class of 2014.
So, with that being said, you know who else we should give a shout out to?
Oh, you mean a shit out?
Yes,
A shit out to
Gary
Gary Bankston.
For what?
For what? For these nice ass chairs. That's for what? Look at this. You can kind of see it on the camera there now. Look
You
at that. Look at
can. If you're not subscribed to YouTube, you should be.
Yeah.
Not for the quality, but
that. For these nice ass chairs.
yes, my spine has never been more erect due to these chairs. However, the real credit should go to Aaron Bankston. And I don't know why our voices dropped because I'm just as
Well,
enthused.
mine dropped because I'm Team Gary. Team Gare Bear. And
Yeah.
your team, I probably shouldn't say that.
Team Gare Bear?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably just took that from his wife or something. I probably took that from Aaron.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. And Aaron, there's no way you're watching this, but if you are, we wish you a speedy recovery on the surgery that you just had.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing bad.
Nothing at all.
No, just a little surgery.
What's the surgery?
A little.
Oh, you can tell me after. I don't need to put her.
Yeah, I won't share info out here. It's
Speedy
nothing.
recovery on your.
Speedy recovery.
Didn't know she had surgery.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. So she's the real gifter of these chairs.
Yeah.
And if this is your first episode, then
And if you happen to have a third one lying around somewhere in Casa de Bankston, I'll pay for it.
oh man, I wish that.
Yeah.
I wish. I'm sure we could find these online somewhere.
Probably.
I just watched a video the other day in my gallery
Uh-huh.
of Ryan and Emily taking giving me a video tour of their apartment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, they've been in it maybe a couple years now, over a year. It's well over a year, but
Yeah.
anyways, these chairs originated in their apartment.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was because I was gonna take them off Ryan's hands.
Yeah.
And somehow I just didn't have room for them, and they made their way to the Bankstons'
As things tend to do.
lake level floor.
Yeah.
They ended up there in the bar.
Not their penthouse level floor.
Correct.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Or at their beach house.
Yeah, we're at their beach house. No, these are lake level chairs for sure.
Lake level chairs.
Yeah.
You can tell they're
You can
lake
tell-
level chairs
By the way, they is.
by the way they are. Yep. So they offered them to me, and little did I know at the time that they would become
So iconic.
so iconic.
Iconic. Millions of people around the world have seen these chairs.
They really have.
Yeah. What are the odds?
If
So
you're-
thank you, Gary Banks. You fucked it up.
You were so quick. I'm not used
on
to being.
purpose.
I'm not used to you being so quick.
I did it on purpose to see if you'd catch up.
On this day, no. I'm trying to catch up with just my thoughts.
Well, I think it's time we let the cat out of the bag. If people can't see it already, but they should know.
Oh,
'Cause it's-
yeah.
I purposefully put it in frame.
Orificely?
Yeah, orificely put it in the frame.
The porpoise of this
purposely-
orifice.
Yeah. Whatever a dolphin sound makes.
Oh, we're children.
These nice create shit
Posters.
Good job.
So, all the more reason to watch us on YouTube.
Yeah.
And follow us on Twitter. I'm going to show the camera now the first ever, the inaugural Create Stuff podcast poster, or if you're Trey,
create shit.
And this is from A New Hope. Star Wars A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here you are, ladies and gentlemen. And tell the people what they're looking at.
All right, let me grab my business card over here because we also have it on business cards.
Yes. Tell me these aren't the coolest business cards you have ever seen in your life.
So if you were listening, you were going to see a bright canvas, a landscape, if you will, an orange gradient background, dunes of the sand, maybe a little mountain on the left, right? If that's no, that's left. Left. Behind there, a sprawling desert with a city. The city highlighted, fading into the stars. And then up in the sky, in this majestic space field, we have Curtis and all his gumball glory. We have Robert, our ass. Hairy ass, as the Death Star with eyes.
Or as my daughter said, the butt has eyes.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
So Robert takes place of the Death Star, while Curtis takes place of Darth Vader. And then, following just under Robert, we see Fred the Bread and his squadron of hawks. Is he a hawk? I don't remember. He's a hawk. Squadron of hawks flying up into the sky like X-wings. I think it was X-wings. I don't think it was TIE fighters. It was X-wings. And then coming to the forefront of the picture, we have two young gentlemen. One holding a sword bright and high, glaring with a little lens flare that we added in post. Shirtless as a motherfucker. We have Trey Falco as Luke Skywalker. And then down to his right, not as important as the main character, but still just as important. We have
not as important, but just as important.
We have Joshua Oglesby as Princess Leia. And finally, for those supporting cast, off behind, really not important, we have Mr. Timmons as 3PO and William as R2-D2 because he's round and short like R2-D2. And then, well, he is. And then we have the Create Shit logo, a Star Wars font logo with a new podcast instead of A New Hope because we're clever like that. And then where it would say George Lucas, we said fuck that and didn't put any names and said Fridays at noon.
Because that's when you're listening to this. If you have the bell notification turned on, which if you do not, what are you doing with your life?
What are you doing, step sub?
Oh, that needs to be something.
And then the business cards have the same thing, just in a business card format.
Yeah.
On one side, it's the exact same thing. So if you click over and see the poster, or if you replay this back like 2.5 minutes and want to listen to that whole description again, but picture it smaller on a business card, that's the same thing. And then if you flip it over, it's just a white background, solid white background that says "Scan here to laugh," and then it has our QR code, and it takes you to our link tree so that you can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, the YouTubes, Spotify, iTunes, pretty much wherever we are at.
And in our humble opinion, this has got to be, I mean,
we're such a badass business card.
We're
I'm not even going to shy around it.
We're a little biased, but this has got to be, I mean, to make a first impression, this has got to be the coolest.
Could you imagine
business
having
card.
that handed to you? Like, oh yeah, no, this is our podcast, and that's what you see?
That's what I imagined.
Yeah.
When I saw an idea online for a business card. On one side, it just said "Scan here," and it was a QR code.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the other side said, but I thought "Scan here," okay. And I'm like, it was just like a stock image for a printing company to give you an idea of. I don't know what they're capable of. They're capable of creating your own QR code for you and putting it on their card. And I thought, scan here to laugh.
Yeah.
Like, how simple.
It's genius.
If you're walking by, if you're in a coffee shop or walking out of a grocery store and you look on a bulletin board or a cork board or whatever, and you see a card that just says scan here to laugh,
I'm a scan.
It's intriguing.
2 seconds, pull out my phone, shoot the QR code, and I can keep walking and be on with my day.
But then, if you decide to turn it over
Yeah.
and go, well, I wonder what's on the other side, and then you see this masterpiece,
Yeah.
the poster that you just looked at, that design on a business card,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Right?
Like, how are you not intrigued at that
And
point?
you can take it and show the camera just to show how, I mean, it's the full poster. Like, it's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tiny little business card.
Yeah. It's an average size business
average
card.
size business
Yeah, I
card.
wouldn't call them tiny.
But that's our business card.
Yeah.
Like
Like, how dope is that?
that. And then it's like, oh, well, how do I find out more information? Well, just scan that.
Well,
and
it's,
then
it's cool because all that information is there. We have moved into the digital age. So everything that you could ever possibly need is right there in digital form.
And what's great
It's
is,
even better than a business card.
and what blew my mind yesterday, and I mean, if you saw me, I like got lost in how amazingly cool it was that when they scan that code, we can change, because it goes to Linktree,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
change it.
We can update it. We can put whatever we want to on there.
And that little thing right there keeps us from having to order different business cards
Exactly.
if we ever have to update something.
Yep.
But if we just linked our YouTube and we click, print,
Yeah. And it was just youtube.com/CS podcast or whatever. It wouldn't.
we can't change that.
Yeah.
We have no control over that, but because it goes to Linktree,
It's cool because it really is like it's a physically digital business card. Like
I can get on my phone, change something about us, and this business card
Updates.
that is not digital
yeah.
updates.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. That something physical
Yeah.
changed. Like if I smoked weed, which I don't,
Yeah.
if I was
Blow your
smoking
mind.
at that moment, I would have that would have probably ended me.
We'd have lost you.
You'd have lost me. I would still be sitting in my computer chair just zoning at the floor.
Yeah.
I'm
Pretty
proud
awesome.
of that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for that design and that
I think it's
coming together.
Well, we talked about this before we hit record that we created that. Yes, I did a lot of the like actual putting it together and formatting it. And the fuck was that?
Good
I
question.
guess it's fight time. What was? I hope that picked
we
up
need-
on the podcast.
So it's 4:00.
Oh, I bet that was their bell for trading.
Yeah,
I think the market just closed.
but
I've never heard that before. She's never had that on.
yeah,
That's the only thing I can think of. Okay,
That-
I hope
that
I
has
hope
to
that
be-
came through the. I hope it got picked up so that
it was pretty quiet. But there's a possibility.
because otherwise people are like, "What's wrong with him? Like, what the fuck was?"
So stock market's closed.
Yeah.
It's 4 p.m. Today,
Yeah.
or
Yes, today.
it's 4 p.m. right now.
Yeah, you're right.
It's 4 p.m. today, all day.
All day, every day. It's 4:00 somewhere.
Yeah. But no, your wife who day trades,
Yeah.
she must have. There must be a sound that.
I guess. Like I said, I've never heard that before. Anyways, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted.
By the stock market bell.
Yeah. We created this. Like I said, I formatted it and threw everything in like inside Photoshop. But it is the brainchild of both of us. Like we both sat down.
Sure.
Like even when I was placing stuff, you were like, move this over, maybe move this, do that. Can you feather out Curtis's dome so that it looks a little more like Darth Vader's? How his kind of fades into the like. It wasn't just me. So kudos to both of us. But I also want to put it out there into the world right now that we are working on our second poster.
Yes.
Like we had said, we said when we first brainstormed this and talked about it, it was somewhere in its earliest conception. We talked about doing maybe a poster a month, just kind of jokingly, and we've kind of followed that trend right now because it's been about a month since we brainstormed this poster.
Yeah.
And then it came to fruition. It became an actual image that we created in Photoshop.
We
And
love it.
now, yeah, and now a physical representation, a physical manifestation of our hopes and dreams. So,
Right. And we
Yeah.
both have this idea in this image of whenever we have our own space, which
Yeah.
we've got our own space now, but a more dedicated,
studio.
studio, warehouse, whatever it may be, just a hallway somewhere
Of these?
that is adorned with these these spoofed movie posters.
Yeah.
Like that's a dream.
Do I tease them with what it is? Because I'm pretty excited. Literally, all we have to do is take pictures of me and you, and then
That's it. Because
a vehicle.
you have yet again recreated the scene and the cover of this particular movie.
Yeah, all we need is our bodies, and that's it. Just photos.
Yeah, which costumes are going to be a big part
Yeah, we'll have to hit up
of this.
I'm thinking Goodwill or Haven Arrest or some thrift store.
Yeah.
But
No, go ahead if you'd like.
so it is a spoof on Back to the Future Part 2's poster. You got, I almost said Rick and Morty. You got Doc and Marty. You know, Doc's kind of got his arm around him, and they're both checking their watch right there next to the DeLorean. That poster, and it says Back to the Featured Content Creator. Which is pretty dope. We played around a little bit with that. Like I put like Back to the Podcast, and I was like, I don't know. And Josh was talking about, you know, oh well, like he was thinking of like plays on like I don't know, like just different words that could be thrown in there. And I think you went and worked out.
Yeah.
And while you were gone, I sat there and I was like, Back to the Future, and I was like, Back to the featured, Back to the Featured.
Hey,
content
we do
creator.
that.
Yeah. And I was like,
We feature somebody.
because where it says, if you've seen the poster, on the small arrow that comes down under Future, and right there where there's like 2, inside the arrow it says Part, so it's Part 2. So it's technically part of the title. And so I was like, oh, Back to the Featured Content Creator, right there in that little arrow, so that it keeps that continuity. And then you know, Robert Zemeckis film, we took that out, and it says a new someone new each week. And then up at the top where it says Steven Spielberg Presents, it says the CS Podcast Presents. It's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
And I'll give that. I mean, I wasn't thinking Back to the Future. You came up with that.
Yeah.
I watched you a good bit of you form. It started with the font, started with the title, and then how you just kind of melded everything together.
Yeah.
And erased and brushed and all the things you do on Photoshop, and watched it come together that way. And then when I came back from working out, I saw Back to the Featured.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And that was all you. So this poster, I will give you more credit because I was over here thinking, what rhymes with back? What would be funny? And you're like, Back to the Featured Content Creator. I'm like, there you go.
And
so
it rolls just as well as Back to the Future, which I love. I think that's my favorite part about it.
yeah,
It's such a good spoof on it that still rolls off the tongue, just like Back to the Future Part 2.
But it's so what we do.
Yeah.
Like it is a very important part of what it is we do. And I like the idea of it be like, this is our inaugural poster.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to play off of A New Hope.
Yep.
We are a new podcast. That's not a lie. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And then with this, it's Back to the Featured Content Creator. We feature a content creator every week.
Yep.
It's like a different little way of highlighting what it is we do.
Yep.
And that's brilliant. I think the first 2, I mean,
What better way? Like, those are the perfect first 2.
we're going to have...
And we talked about this off the podcast. I don't think we actually touched on this on podcast, but I love the fact that it says Create Shit, a new podcast, because that's kind of a double entendre in the sense that we are in our early stages, our infancy, so we are technically a new podcast. But my favorite thing about that is, if you're just discovering us and you find that poster, we are a new podcast to you.
Yeah.
We will always and forever be a new podcast to somebody. And I like that.
I think so too, and not just in that sense. In another sense, but with us being a new podcast, we are a very different type of brand, a very different type of podcast. We are I don't know that there's really a niche for content creators.
Well, we've talked
content
about
creation, should I say?
Well, we talked about that yesterday. How I don't know, the podcast. I guess this is kind of feeding into what you're talking about. Probably not. I don't know. I'm going to say it anyways. But talking about how we don't really conform to a niche, anyways.
Exactly.
You know?
It ties right into what I'm saying.
Like, so that's our biggest weakness as a podcast, because we aren't niched down like to where
when it comes to discoverability,
and
searchability.
Yeah. However, it is our greatest strength once we overcome that hurdle.
Yes.
Because we're for everybody.
Right.
I don't care who you are. You know, I want you.
Who else is
hanging out with us?
Yeah, everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Who else is doing this? I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Yeah.
But they're not a big enough name that we know of. They're not household names.
Yeah.
But
and we're gonna pioneer it.
I think we are.
Yeah.
I believe we're gonna pioneer it, and we're gonna bring everybody with us. We're going to bring our community, our fans, our listeners, viewers, and the featured content creators.
Yeah.
It's our mission to our featured content creators to get as big as we can to give them more of a spotlight.
Exactly.
Now
so
we're
you've
firing all
just
cylinders.
heard the create shit motto. That's not, what is it? Mission statement. Thank you.
That's the second time we spoke at the same time saying the same thing. Man,
so we're on it. We're starting to fire on all cylinders again. Let's see. I don't know, that was a great little segment.
it was.
Now I feel like we should educate people on some other stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing we're talking about. We want to dive into that. We want to be able to release a few videos here and there on educating you on
getting creative, or if you got Josh's wheelhouse, the healthy lifestyle for gamers.
And you know, I would love to take that idea.
Yeah.
Because we've already gotten started here. I think more eyes are going to get more eyes. It would get more eyes. More eyes are going to get on it.
Peeled on this.
Yeah, peeled. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That's how I would have saved it if I wasn't currently
Still
experiencing
doesn't really make sense, but
whatever. Rather than going to my YouTube channel and starting this new series, this is obviously my focal point. Not sure what I should do with my channel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should do it on my channel. But anyways, there's not a authority figure when it comes to healthy gaming.
Yeah.
And how...
You could be it. Dr. O'Glesby.
Sure. Dr. O'Glesby and... his unhealthy friends.
Yeah, you could be you could be like the stream professor, because you can't be the doctor.
Yeah,
because it's already taken. Or you could be like the stream surgeon.
I was gonna say the stream. Yeah, the stream doctor. Yeah, it would have been good for me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have. Oh. The stream nutrition.
Well, I actually have a big like beef with doctors when it comes to providing nutrition and exercise information.
Okay.
Because they're not I saw it was a funny TikTok and somehow there's an argument, of course, that gets started, and a lady said, my doctor told me to cut out, what was it? Oh, eggs. To stop eating eggs to lower my cholesterol. And that was the only advice he gave her. So we didn't address the problem. He probably put her on cholesterol medication.
Yeah.
Because that's what doctors do. They diagnose and they prescribe.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
After listening to a doctor with my own ears say, you know, through the whole time, like, being educated to become a doctor, in all the years of it, I don't know, there was like 10 hours of nutrition education there,
which is like the most important thing for your body, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to weigh in. But.
Yeah, and I'm not somebody who's against medication and all that, and that's not what I'm talking about. But it's just the absolute lack of knowledge when it comes to exercise and nutrition.
Fair enough. I mean, I see that.
If somebody said, "Hey, we're going to have 100 people watch you and a doctor go back and forth about nutrition and supplements and vitamins and exercise and stuff like that, do you think you could out-knowledge them?" You would think somebody who hasn't spent one day in any kind of like medical classroom or anything like that, I would just be scared to death. I'm actually quite confident that I would possibly smoke them. Yeah, well, I've spent, since I was like 15 or 16 when I knew I wanted to be a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Constantly educating myself, and it's easier than ever with YouTube.
Yeah, it really is.
It is. So yeah, I feel like I could. And this doctor told this lady, and this lady said, well, I have a doctor who has years of experience. I'm like, okay, first of all, he has experience being a doctor.
Yeah.
But he said, cut out eggs to lower cholesterol. I'm trying to think of a good
analogy.
Yeah. It'd be like you saying, I just got sunburned from being out in the sun 10 hours today.
Yeah.
It'd be like me saying, Trey, you never need to go out in the sun again.
Yeah.
Look what happened to you.
Yeah. You'll die.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, the sun it's just a symptom.
Yeah.
It's like the sunburn was just a symptom of being out in the sun too long. The sun wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
Per
The problem
se.
is my stupidity for staying out there that long
Right.
and not taking care of my body.
And this lady's lack of knowledge on how
Yeah.
to keep her cholesterol lower, or, I don't know, stop eating the 20 other things.
Yeah.
This lady's going to stop eating the one thing that is loaded with nutrition.
Yeah.
It's loaded, like the egg yolk, great for hormone balance. I mean, super good. It's eggs like a superfood, low-key superfood. And she's going to stop eating it
And I
because a
learned
doctor told her.
I learned something the other day. Did you know that the more orange a yolk is, the more better it is, the healthier it is?
Yeah?
You
Where'd
know
you
where
learn that?
I learned that from a guy I was riding to the store with. He picked me up. It was really nice of him because I didn't have a car.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I bet he's smarter than a doctor
Probably.
when it comes to nutrition.
I think his name was Bosch Joglesby.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
What a weird dude.
What a stupid name.
You know, he gave me this T-shirt too.
I meant to start the podcast off by saying, what a wonderful shirt you're wearing.
What a great T-shirt.
Yeah, I think it says Scottish Prince Joshua O'Gillespie, heads will roll. Man,
You're right.
I bet he's a great wrestler.
He probably is. He probably DDTs people in his sleep, and like he probably suplexes them off his balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a balcony.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah, he's got a
whoever this
balcony.
wrestler is, probably has a balcony.
Probably. All wrestlers have balconies.
Wrestlers?
Wrestlers. All wrestlers have balconies. All wrestlers have balconies.
There you go. No, so if you'd like a shirt, if you'd like a Scottish Prince Joshua Gillespie shirt, sorry, I've sold out.
Sorry.
No, I honestly think I have.
I'm just trying to see what time it is.
Mm.
Well, not time. How long have we been going?
We started around 3:30. It's
Did we?
well, a little bit later.
Did we?
A little bit later. So it should be just under 45 minutes.
No.
It's 38 minutes.
38 minutes.
I said just under 45.
Well, that's good, man. That's just enough time to do the Ryan voicemail segment. I think we should do that.
Pop that.
Yeah.
Make
What'd you
that
say the
pop
time
off?
was? Because I'm not going to play it here.
38 minutes.
38 minutes. 38 minutes. Ryan.
Ryan.
And here you will see an intro.
Hey, motherfucker.
Ryan's voicemail segment.
And we're back. What is that's the power of editing.
I love
That's
it.
magic. Why do I do this shit live?
I don't know. Why do? Well, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. So you sent this voicemail over to me, and this is, and I quote, probably the best one I've done, Ryan Holcomb, 2021. So I'm excited to hear this because neither of us have heard it.
Correct.
Because Josh, you were like, I haven't heard it yet, and I was like, okay, don't listen to it because I want us both to experience it live.
All right. I am excited for this. It is 53 seconds long. So, ladies and gentlemen, strap in.
Yeah, this is Bob down here with Dick Licking Services. We've been trying to contact you about your Dick's extended warranty. You had a penis enlargement with us about 5 years ago, and haven't heard anything back and haven't received payment. So just calling to see what the fuck that was about. Hope you're enjoying your extra quarter-inch of cop. Now you're now you got a half-inch, so good for you. Give us a call back, or we're gonna send your ass to whatever the fuck government agency handles this type of shit, because I don't fucking know. I'm a dick guy, so yeah, suck on that.
He said, I'm a dick guy.
Oh, man.
That was good. I genuinely didn't know what to expect. We were trying to reach you about your dick's extended warranty.
Yeah.
He goes about your extra quarter inch. He goes, good for you. You got a half an inch.
It's like, wow. Oh, man. And you can tell, like, he's making this up as he goes.
Oh, yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Well, I fact-checked you, Mr. Holcomb, ran it through Snopes, and that was probably the best one you've ever done.
That we've heard, yeah.
Yeah, so far.
I don't know. I think my favorite one will always be me in Mooresville.
Yeah.
Him
that was pretty
saying,
good one.
him saying, like, he goes, you answer my fucking call
Yeah.
when you're in Mooresville. And then he gets quiet, and then he goes, yeah, taking your dumbass to lunch. Or taking your dumbass to dinner when you get back. So you better be here. And he gets all calm.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is probably my favorite addition to the podcast in a while. These voicemail segments are nice.
He's
It's just a nice little, I don't know. I find it funny. You listening, you may not, and that's okay. That's why we have all these different segments, because there's something for you.
maybe it fills that void. If somebody says, I wish I had a friend like that
Yeah.
to call me and leave a voicemail.
Now we all do.
Oh, my.
What?
I just had a wonderful idea.
Yeah?
Could potentially be bad for... No, we'd have a different way of doing it. We could come up with a way. Okay, here it is. Mm-hmm. We have a drawing, or we have a contest, and there's different tiers of rewards, or it could be the grand prize.
Yeah.
Whatever
you get a
it is.
voicemail from Ryan?
You get a voicemail from Ryan. He's gonna call
I like
you.
that.
How many people are actually gonna
What a
pick?
giveaway.
What a giveaway!
That would be all you have to do is just we could start it now and then run until the end of August, and you comment you like this, you got to like this video, you got to well, we can't check if they liked it. You just comment on this video. I don't know, what do they comment? We're coming up with this. We're creating shit on the spot here.
Yeah.
Or if you're listening,
F me up, Rye.
Yeah, comment F me up, Rye, or you can hit us up on Twitter and just add us at official CS Pod, and then just F me up, Rye. Or if you're Trey, fuck me up, Rye.
There you go.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and you can we'll get Ryan to call you and send you a voicemail.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And give him a couple details about yourself.
Yeah.
That way he can insult you. It's gonna be an insulting voicemail more than likely.
Yeah.
Because whenever he calls me, it's usually insulting. Well, one thing I've noticed with Ryan's voicemails, in a couple of them, while he insults me, sometimes he breaks out into tears and says, "Please call me, I'm lonely," or "Please hop online and play with me, I'm lonely."
Winner.
So secretly, that's what all the bullies do, isn't it? They just lash out because they need attention.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how that works.
They just want to be loved.
My favorite part about this whole giveaway that we're doing right now that we just came up with is Ryan has no fucking clue about it.
He has no idea what kind of video he's going to be in.
He has no idea that he's going to have to call somebody at the end of August.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
What a neat little giveaway. That's kind of what a cool giveaway. Like, sure, you probably want some shit, but we don't have shit to give away, so we're going to give away Ryan. Like,
yeah. Once there becomes a demand for it, maybe then. Yeah. Maybe we have the styles and designs already planned out, but then when people when people start rolling in, which our TikTok game has picked up a bit this past week. Well, the past 7 days,
that would be a week. The past week. That's technically the past week.
Well, it's been like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Or 4
I know
days,
what you mean.
actually. And TikTok's actually showing us a little bit of love and pumping out our
content.
Okay, so like the last one we uploaded, the 3-minute one from Get Good.
Yeah.
It started at like 9 views.
Oh, I just got a TikTok notification.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
got another like.
Yeah,
or 2 likes.
User 73271563111107. Thank you for liking our video.
Yeah, and thank you to Waffle the Carney for following us. They're our latest follower on CS Pod.
Waffle the Carney, nice.
Or
I like
official
that.
CS Pod. So yeah, we really wanted to leverage TikTok because I mean that is, if you can get the algorithm to work for you,
Yeah.
it is a gold mine of a way to get discovered.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanna focus up there, and if you're not following us on TikTok, then you should at official CS Pod because
On every other social media. So if you're following us on Twitter, there's no excuse not to follow us on TikTok unless you don't have a TikTok. In which case, what the fuck are you doing?
there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're gonna get content on there that you're not gonna get anywhere else.
Yeah. It's going to be us dicking around and, I don't know, doing stuff that we do.
Yeah, unless we post a video or create a video compilation of our
Yeah.
TikToks, then
Which I don't really foresee us doing. I mean, I guess we could, but
I think once we get enough bangers, maybe like best of CS Pod TikTok,
Yeah.
just to let people know on YouTube, hey, we have a TikTok.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not gonna rush to that.
No.
I'm not gonna make that a staple of any sorts, but yeah. So that's cool.
I like it.
I
dig
just,
it.
I like seeing the growth.
Yeah.
Just so that, we can have a bigger family. And shout out to JT. Hey JT, if you're watching.
Oh, hey, JT.
Thanks for subbing, man.
Bo Show.
Reached out to him and said, "Hey dude, been a fan of my stuff in the past.
Probably like this.
Here's a new podcast." He's a former trainee of mine at old 3 Count Pro Wrestling Academy.
Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to talk about creative.
Yeah.
When it comes to characters, this gentleman, he
Yeah.
has all the ideas for characters.
That's good, though. I mean, I don't know. I like that. That's the kind of wrestler that I like.
I mean, he just pitched me one. I mean, it's multi-layered. All
Yeah.
of his ideas are multi-layered, and I'm like, what an imagination this guy has. Quite the imagination. So, anyways, thank you, JT, for subscribing.
And thank you to, I don't know, Utz for those cheese balls.
Thank you for making them.
Thank you for making them.
They didn't
they're
give
yummy.
it. They didn't give it to us.
No, they
We had
didn't.
to buy
Not
it.
yet.
Not yet.
But they can one day. Utz, hit us up. I'll give you a P.O. box, phone number, whatever you need. You just let me know.
And I always thought, I don't know why I looked at it and thought German and just immediately thought Oots.
Golf, is that right?
Yeah, how would you pronounce UTZ? Golf.
Hey, speaking of golf.
I was just about to segue into that.
Yeah? Yeah, do we segue into it? Because golf watching has no idea what we're about to talk about.
He doesn't. We've not reached out to him yet.
We haven't because I've been lazy.
Well, I don't know, had a lot going on.
Yeah. So, in its simplest terms, and we can kind of, I don't know, maybe we put a little bit of a feel out and see what people think about this, but thinking of a possibly a new segment.
Mm-hmm.
New segment. And we are going to, if it is okay with Mr. Golf, learn some German with him, which I think would be really cool.
Learn German with golf.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, golf.
Which, if you don't know, golf is a person's name.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, I'm sorry?
Yeah. What?
What?
You guys are going to golf and learn German? Cool.
That's...
No, so Golf is from Germany and obviously knows German. And so, yeah, I thought it would be really cool if maybe he called us, like we could video chat with him, or not video chat, but maybe we could, Discord, something like that, chat with him. And Golf, you can just, we can batch them up at like 10 at a time, and all you have to do is just intro the segment with the, like whatever friendly greetings in German
Or slang.
Yeah. Well, I figured it would open with the friendly greeting.
Start with
every
that.
time, so that everybody learns, this friendly greeting, so that when they go to Germany, they can use it and say hey to people.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. And then the bulk of the actual segment, and it could just be as short as you would like, Golf, but basically just a slang, just maybe a sentence. That you think would be very beneficial for us as Americans or those from other countries that don't know German to know if they were to ever come to Germany, and be able to say it in your native tongue. So that could be, it could be something as simple as like, where's the bathroom? You always learn that, but like, I don't know, you as a native German, something that you do on a daily basis, what would be beneficial for somebody outside of Germany to know how to say?
And in addition to that, I think it would be wonderful to add just a kind of a goofy thing with that. Something that you and I can play around with while we're on the podcast.
Yeah.
Talking or just on live stream or
Yeah.
whatever. And just something that we can throw around. Like find excuses to throw that in there.
Yeah.
I think that
like
would
a
be
term or a sentence or like a whatever.
Yeah, it would be the ultimate, like, I don't know, callback. To at the end of the podcast, I don't know, throw in what we learned from the day. Like one of us just pop off while the other one forgot about it.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, a creative way to throw it in on an English sentence.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think we'd have a lot of fun with it.
And
be
the goal of
educational
this-
and freaking
I was
hilarious.
going to say, the goal of this would be to slowly but surely learn German over time. To basically, we want to learn a new language, and we couldn't decide on one. And then I was like, oh, what if we learned, what if we learned it together? What language? And I was like, oh, what if we did it on the podcast? What if everybody learned the language? And then I was like, we know somebody that knows German. Like, that would be the easiest.
Yeah.
If you're down for it, Golf.
Yeah, no
So,
pressure after we just talked it up a bunch.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if
you
not,
can say no.
If not, then we won't talk about it.
But then you would
again.
end that segment with a very friendly goodbye. You know, whatever a German, like a native goodbye. Not that you would learn in a textbook, because I don't know how it is.
Take it easy, guys.
Yeah,
Or-
like so for instance, I know like people that like English is their second language and they come over here and all they learned it was in a classroom. Like they have very formal English that like
Yeah.
it sounds weird when they because they don't know like conjunctions or like we have. I mean, we're from the South, so we have slang. Like they're probably not gonna learn y'all.
I was about to say, yeah.
In a classroom setting, probably not. They might. So the same thing would apply to German. I wouldn't want to go over there and be talking like hello everybody, how are y'all, or how are you guys?
Yeah.
I would want to walk over and be like, hey, what's up guys? How are y'all? Like that's the type
Yeah.
of German equivalent that I would like to learn. And what better way than somebody that lives in Germany and knows that slang and grew up there and is their native tongue. So that's all I'm saying.
I don't know if you went over there and you were around a bunch of females and it was very broken, they might find it attractive.
Yeah, they might.
And it's like, oh, that
very
American
nice.
accent.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So, yeah, that is a potential new segment coming soon to a podcast, CS podcast near you.
Potentially. Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love it. So we had a bit of a date in the office.
Yeah, we did.
That we share. We watched a movie together, which
We did. We had movie night.
I feel like as long as I've been here, we've talked about watching movies and.
Spoiler alert, it's not The Shining. We've been talking since you've been here on the podcast about us watching The Shining together. It was not The Shining.
It was not. I really want to watch The Shining together.
Yeah.
I want to be able to break that down and
Let's break this down. See if we can't break this down.
see if we can break this down. So, yeah. No, it was not. It was my new comic book interest.
Yeah.
I've never had a comic book interest. I've always enjoyed Batman.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed, Spider-Man, not to the degree that you do.
Yeah.
A very, just a normal consumer of Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
However, I really wanted to get to know Venom and explore. And you turned me on. Well, you.
I usually turn you on.
There we go. Set myself up for that one.
Yeah, you did.
And you let me borrow a Venom comic book.
I did.
Which made an appearance in Get Good Scrub.
It did.
Which, if you've not watched it, you should go watch it.
What a little Easter egg.
Yep.
What a fun, just little thing.
It is. But, I don't know, did we watched the movie after I read the comic.
We did. Yeah.
Right.
So I gave you the
That's
comic that night. Like, I say that night. It was the night that you brought it up. I guess it was after we talked about it on the podcast. We were talking about comic book characters on our podcast.
Oh,
and
okay.
then you were like, blah, 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 Venom. You may not have actually mentioned Venom on the podcast. That may have been a conversation off mic that we had after we wrapped up.
Yeah.
But you're talking about Venom. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I've got a comic. Like, I can, if you want to read comics, like, I got you. And so,
Yeah, that night.
yeah, we had a whole.
It was the day I passed my. I haven't talked about that on the podcast yet either. Yeah, the whole real estate license thing. I passed the national and the state exam on the first attempt. No big deal. Whatever.
Nerd.
Yeah. Real estate nerd.
God.
Those people.
That's what I'm associating with on this podcast in this house.
Real estate nerds? Come on. I don't. That's when you say, "Don't you come on me."
No.
No, no,
to say
don't,
that. That's
no, don't say
gross.
that.
No,
Oh.
that's gross.
Oh, okay. Anyways, we watched Venom,
We did.
and I was a big fan of it.
It was good. And surprisingly, I hadn't seen it either. For as big of a Spider-Man fan as I am, and I love Venom, I think he's a great character, but I haven't seen it. I haven't watched the movie. I don't know why. And no particular reason.
Well, we pulled the trigger,
Yeah.
and consumed it, and it was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. I
Yeah?
thought it was going to be darker. And when you
Yeah,
said,
it was pretty light.
yeah, when you said you'd watch the trailer, and you're like, yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of funny parts, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember watching the trailer once upon a time somewhere, but
Depends on the trailer, because they put out different.
right, it just seemed darker. I thought like, and when you think of Tom Hardy, he's not exactly known for playing lighthearted characters.
Yeah.
Like at all. I
Yeah.
don't know that he's.
Ow.
I'm sure he's done
Yeah.
comedy somewhere, but I don't know. Little character named Bane,
Yeah.
and his appearance in Peaky Blinders.
He was in a movie with Shia LaBeouf that I can't think of right now. Lawless?
I think it's the old timey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lawless.
I'm pretty. Yeah.
Probably. I think they were like running moonshine.
Right, and he
Yeah.
was a MMA fighter, and another one.
Yeah.
I mean, not exactly the comedy guy, but
Dude, he was on point though. Like it was like his timing and like hitting the beats for. I mean, it was good.
it was well done. It made me a even bigger Tom Hardy fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Tom Hardy, I was watching a roundtable discussion with actors, and Shia LaBeouf was one of the 6, I think.
Hot take, but I love Shia LaBeouf. Like I know he's had his like colorful past and like all the shit that he's gotten into. I love me some Shia LaBeouf though. Like
He's becoming like, I don't know. Everybody said Johnny Depp was mysterious,
yeah,
but I feel like Shia LaBeouf has
Yeah,
taken
he's-
that role as
he really has.
a little. I don't know. It's like, is he off or is he just a genius?
Yeah, like what's he? Yeah,
It's like
I don't know though.
probably both.
I can't think off the top of my head any bad Shia LaBeouf movies that I've seen. Like
Right.
just off the top of my head, I don't know. I like him as a character. I grew up. I watched him in Even Stevens, and I've followed him ever since.
I never saw
Even
any-
Stevens.
Yeah, that was. I know so many people
Dude,
have.
that was
but-
one of my favorite shows growing up.
Well, once I
so
got
good.
older, everybody would be like, "Did you ever watch Even Stevens?" I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't even know it was a thing. I don't
Yeah.
remember as a kid it being a thing.
Had a big crush on Christy Carlson Romano, his sister.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not why I mean, that's part of why I watched Even Stevens, but also, like, I thought Shia LaBeouf was hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there since we kind of trickled over into Shia LaBeouf. I wanted that to be known that he's pretty great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Your roundtable discussion.
the roundtable discussion. Trying to think of the other actors. Maybe Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily no, I don't think it was a comedy thing.
Mm-hmm.
But De Niro, Jim Carrey, Shia LaBeouf. I could, if I spent more time on it, I could remember. Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay.
And 2 others. So, anyways, they I forgot what it was he was talking about, and he somehow got into working with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
And people asked him, how was it working with Tom? And he goes, well, it's his set.
Yeah.
They said, when you walk on set, you know it is Tom's set.
Interesting.
He said he said he'll just be over in the corner peeing.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he owns it. It's like, it's
Yeah.
his movie. You're just,
You're just there.
like, he completely takes control. I forgot the other ways he described it.
Yeah.
But apparently he is just a bulldog on set.
Yeah.
He goes, sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
But he just owns it.
he owns it.
Yeah.
That is it.
And you don't have to be, I don't know, I think that's an important distinction to make because you don't have to be an asshole to own something. You know what I mean? Like to walk on
demand
those, yeah.
that respect.
Yeah.
And command authority or command respect. Yeah.
You could be very nice and do that. So, I don't know.
Right. And he's, I don't know, sounds like just a massive professional. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's even cooler.
Right?
Like,
That's what you love to hear. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's always so sad, which I mean, they're human beings, you know. You can't fault them. But it's always so sad when you see somebody and you're like, oh yeah, no, like they're an asshole, like they're really terrible to work with, or you know, it's like, oh, didn't want to hear that. But I mean, they're human. Doesn't make me dislike their movies any. I just
exactly. Like, it's one thing to hear, like, Christian Bale had the whole shouting at like a lighting guy or the guy holding the boom or whatever. But I would like to think that was just an explosion. He was having a bad day.
Maybe. And if not, I mean, and that's just Christian Bale's character, like,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't like him as a person that much anymore, but like his movies are still like he's still a good actor. I can differentiate between the two.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But you know, there's been moments like at 3 Count, like on show day.
Yeah.
Where I blew up at a referee one time for signing our poster. Like he just the poster with the wrestlers on it.
Yeah.
It was he was a new referee.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just and he was younger.
Yeah.
It was just so disrespectful to just walk up to the poster, pull out the Sharpie, and sign his name on the poster. And
not that he's not important in the sense that
exactly.
You need the referee, but
exactly.
I don't know, that would be like, I don't know, taking Venom and then like say you get a Venom poster and Tom Hardy signs it and whoever the girl is that plays the main female role, and then the dude in the apartment walks up and signs the poster.
Right.
His apartment neighbor.
And you didn't ask him.
He was still a great asset to the movie. He was still important. He was funny. He served his purpose.
Yeah.
But he doesn't deserve to really sign the poster unless somebody asks. Like, it shouldn't be expected of him.
It wasn't his job.
Yeah.
Like, the wrestlers on the front, that's who's selling the tickets, is the performers. The referee is there. Referee, I've always said, you know, how many guys are in a match?
Yeah.
Well, there's 2. No, there's 3.
3.
The referee's in there too. So, and a good referee, man, worth their weight in platinum.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know a good referee till I had a good referee my match. Yeah. And I was like, oh wow, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's almost, in a way, the director, I guess. Well, not the director, but I guess in a way he could be like the cameraman. He's framing the match. You know, he's helping conductor kind of. Well, I don't know. The conductor still runs things. He's not really quote unquote running things because the wrestlers are really calling the match. He's just there to make sure everything runs smoothly. That he's kind of like the technical director, I guess.
Technical director. That's a good way to put it, because he's got to take commands from people in the back if he's got an earpiece.
Yeah.
To relay that information to us.
Yeah.
And if that wasn't happening, that's where your quality of matches and the quality of your show is going to go down, which there's tons of shows.
He's a producer.
I almost said producer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not in the traditional wrestling sense, because in the back you'd have a guy who would be a producer for a match.
Yeah.
So we experimented with it, having producers for matches. So like we had a couple guys who worked with us, and one of their responsibilities was they were assigned matches to produce the match. They knew what the overall, and this is what happens in WWE and other big promotions.
Yeah.
The goal of the show is outlined in the meeting. Like, what are we doing here? What's this match supposed to do in the form of telling a story? And then you take a guide and you assign him to that match.
Yeah.
He works with the guys he listens to the match, what they're going to do. And if needed, he tweaks it to make sure that it follows the narrative of what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
And it's kind of it's a good thing to have in some situations, because if you've got some egos going on, one guy going, I feel like you're getting a little too much in. They want me to look better. You can have the producer to go, well, he's actually right. Might not be the best way to put it.
Because then it's not. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So
it's not coming from me to you as far as like. It sounds like me being arrogant, going, well, I need more showtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a third party that's going, well, no, he deserves a little more showtime. You are kind of hogging the match. Like, it needs to be, it doesn't have to be 50-50, but as close to it as you can get while still maintaining the narrative of the match.
Exactly.
I would say.
Yeah, like if there's ever been a match where we had decided, like myself, Ace, and Tim have decided, okay, the guy that, like me, Josh, that I'm wrestling that night, I need, like if we're building me up in a story, I need to look a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so maybe it goes 60-40.
60-40, 70-30, whatever. I've always asked Ace or Tim, like, okay, before me and so-and-so start going over the match, can you walk up to him and tell them from you what we're looking for? That way, when I start talking, it's not me.
It's not you being arrogant and going, well, I need more showtime.
Yeah, like, no, let's cut that out right here.
It serves a purpose.
Because I've had that done to me. Statesville, North Carolina, this tag team. Every time I would suggest my partner and I get in, it was a tag team match, get in a move. Yeah. They'd go, probably not right there. No. And they weren't bashful about it. They're like, no, we're not going to do that. They could have just told me, like the promoter, the booker, should I say, could have just told me, this is a squash match. Your job is to go out there and get your butts handed to you. You're only going to get in one move. Yeah. And I would have been fine with that because that was my job.
Yeah, you took that role.
I was a smaller guy at the time. Yeah. And my partner was only a little bit bigger than me. Mm-hmm. These two dudes were massive. And I was like, okay, it's going to be a little guy versus big guy tag team match. Yeah. We're going to be the underdogs, whatever. No, it's just a squash match. Yeah. And if they'd have just said that, that would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah, well, you got in with a different mindset.
Yeah, I was like, man, it doesn't look like we're going to be doing much tonight. And then we went and had the match, and they just kind of did what they wanted to in the match. I'm like, okay, we jobbed out to them. Yeah. You could have just told me, and I'd have done my job. Yeah. I'm going to get paid the same.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. I don't have to come up with offense. I just take a beating. Yeah. That's actually really simple. It's a night off. Yeah. Honestly, it's not doing anything for your character, but it was Statesville, North Carolina. I wasn't wrestling there. Yeah. It's not like I had a reputation up there anyways. Anyways, I got onto that ref.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we're talking about.
Sorry, I pulled a Josh and started to ramble.
That's okay.
Yeah, I let him have it. Somebody, I forgot who told me. And they were like, yeah, so-and-so over there signing the poster. I went, huh? He's doing what? He's like, yeah, and that just, I mean, it set me off. Maybe I was already in a bad mood. And I went up to him. I was like, hey, man, did you go sign all of our it was like 20 posters. Yeah. I was like, did you sign all of our posters that are supposed to be given out to our fans? They're like, yeah. I said...
Oh, so it wasn't just one?
No, we were giving away... We were, like, raffling them off.
Yeah, I for some reason, I thought it was just he signed a single poster. It was all of them.
It was all of the ones that were supposed to be given out. I think maybe we were doing something if you bought a front row seat. Yeah. You'd get a poster or whatever. He signed all of them.
And you can't erase it.
No. Yeah. You can't at all. And he was like, yeah, like... What's the problem? And that attitude...
What did he sign it? John Smith, referee? Like...
Yeah.
Because...
Exactly.
I couldn't tell you who any of the refs are in, which I don't watch WWE, so it doesn't matter, but...
Exactly.
You know?
So, I mean, if a WWE ref had signed it, like if he was a big part of the show, like if he had developed some kind of reputation, it'd be like, oh, referee so-and-so signed it. Yeah. Maybe that'd be cool. But that's never been a thing with us. Yeah. He did, and so I laid into him. I think my first question was, "Where'd you sign it? Did you sign it over your face?" Well, no, I just signed it over here. I'm like, "Oh, because you're not on the poster." Yeah, and that's how I started, and I reamed him out. Yeah, and looking back, I was really not happy with myself the way I handled it. Yeah, I would have handled it a way different way, but I would hate for somebody to judge me
based on that.
On that one incident. If somebody had a recorder, just like they did with Christian Bale.
Oh, look at Josh. Look at the Scottish print. Well, I mean, it's probably good for you with
my
your
gimmick.
Heel.
Yeah, if it leaked out to the fans.
Yeah. So it actually would have worked out in your favor. So
yeah, with a pro wrestling thing. Yeah, but no, I would hate to be judged by just that. Because I mean, poor celebrities, but it's not something you hear a lot. Yeah. But, I mean, they're under magnifying glasses. They can't live their lives. And, like, if they screw up and say something wrong or something that maybe got taken out of context or maybe they had a bad day and flipped out, it's like they just completely get labeled. Yeah. Like, that's who they are. Oh, look what they did off camera. But as human beings, I mean, you could say that and then 5 minutes later turn around and get into a knockdown, drag-out argument with your wife and call her names, and it's like, but you're the one judging this person for this one thing, but that's who you are every day. And that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
That we have to see them in that light.
What a good discussion.
Yeah. You know, I didn't notice that the skeleton was riding the llama.
He is right. Yeah, I set him up that way. Hold on. Let me check and see how much time we're at.
Sure.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I know. That last 30 minutes went by really quick.
Well, it was all me talking about wrestling.
God, Josh.
My bad. I didn't mean to give a dissertation.
That's okay. Just keep it to 10 minutes next time.
I'll do my best.
So, yeah, no, I did. I set him up to where he was riding. You probably can't really see it that well on the camera. But I think now would be a good time to segue on over into our content creator.
Back to the featured content creator.
Back to the featured content creator. You know, I didn't even think about that when I did it. We always go back to our featured content creator. We tease it.
We tease it, and then we
tease it, and then we come back. We always go back to our featured content creator.
Now,
so that whole poster, it has an even better meaning.
I am so happy about that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, Old Time Hockey. And that's Hawkey. And I am assuming we had this conversation off mic trying to figure out, because you said you would read it as Hawkeye. And I did as well when I first, like, I would just glance at it because it's tiny text, and I just look at it and go, oh, okay, Old Time Hawkeye. And, like, didn't really think anything about it. But he is from somewhere up north. I don't know, maybe North Dakota. I don't know where
I always
he's from.
assumed Canada.
For some reason, I don't think he's in Canada.
No,
he's
not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think he was. But he I'm assuming is a huge, well, I'm assuming he definitely is a huge hockey fan.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm assuming he plays hockey, like plays a lot of hockey. He seems like a hockey player. If he enjoys it that much, I'm thinking he does. And there may even be a video of him actually out on the ice.
Well, isn't his was his profile picture
him in hockey gear?
Yeah.
Probably. You're probably right about that. I don't pay attention to profile pictures, but Old Time Hockey, such a chill channel or chill TikTok. Like, dude, if you're having
2 new followers on TikTok.
Oh, nice. If you're just like, I don't know, having a bad day or you're just kind of in a funk, I promise you, check out this guy's profile and it'll turn that mood around. His voice is so relaxing.
I would like to play just the intro, just the famous how we know he starts.
Yeah, it's just such a good vibe, such a good feeling. Anytime I stumble across him on my For You page, and I just have to hang out. Like it's a nice little break from just everything. He chills with you. He makes food. He plays, hockey on his NES. Or is it Super Nintendo? Is it Super Nintendo? He may have both. But he's got the old CRTV. You know.
Well, he's also got N64.
Oh yeah, he does.
I
have
was
N64.
shocked because he played Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, he's got all the retro consoles. That's pretty much what he lives in this cabin with his dog.
I was gonna say, who's his buddy?
Yeah, his buddy.
It's Donnybrook.
Yeah, Donnybrook. Such a just. I don't know, man. The guy has such a good headspace. Like, he's got to be healthy, like mentally. Like, with just he's away from everything, out in the woods, in his little cabin with Donnybrook. He's happy. He's content with it seems he's happy and content with where he is in life, which is great. And he shares that with all of us. I love it so much.
He does life his way.
Yeah.
Old time describes him perfectly.
And very just simple. And I mean simple in a good way. Like, you know how sometimes they're like, oh, well, he's pretty simple. Like, it's kind of a derogatory meaning. I mean this in a very good way. Just without the stresses of, you know, I don't know. You think about our day-to-day life and how rushed we are with technology and everything and how everything's going 1,000 miles a minute and just, I don't know. He's content being in the slow lane, just cruising and just living his life the way he wants to. And I love it.
He always signs off with a line. He says, be sure to enjoy yourself today.
Yeah.
Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And for him, it looks like being in nature is how he enjoys himself.
Yeah.
And the best thing ever is when somebody will comment and say, hey, sometimes they're really positive and upbeat, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's kind of a lower mood. Like
Yeah.
somebody can say, "Hey, it's my birthday today. I think the latest one, literally
Yeah.
his latest one was, "It's my birthday today. Can we go fishing?"
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, sure, buddy, let's go." And he takes the camera.
so wholesome. He's a modern day Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, a northern.
Very, very like he is the digital age
Yeah, Mr.
TikTok Mr. Rogers.
And then you might have somebody who says, "Hey, my dog just passed away,"
Yeah.
or a family member
Yeah,
passed away. I think this couple just said they lost their baby.
Yeah.
And they said, "We'd love it if." I think they just said, if maybe you could cheer us up. Like
Yeah.
when we watch your videos, it takes us out of that's how.
Yeah.
That's what kind of world he's created for everybody else.
Such an escape.
An escape, and he did a whole video just for them
Yeah.
to help them escape. And to me, that is
Yeah.
whoa.
And it's so relaxing. Like it's so calming. Just
So you've found him if you hear this.
Well, hello, buddy.
And that's typically how
he's so polite. Hello, buddy. Please, whatever. Like the manners are on point.
yeah. It's somebody
a-
that's somebody who it's like there's no way that is not who they really are
Yeah.
in real life. Like if they
Yeah.
are, I don't know.
Yeah. So you can find Old Time Hockey. That's all one word. No underscores or anything like that. You can find him on TikTok. 2.1 million followers on TikTok. You can find him on YouTube at Old Time Hockey. There are spaces in that. That is not one word. And then he's got merch on Teespring if you want to support him. I mean, it's some pretty cool stuff too. I scrolled through it briefly before we got on because I was like, oh, I didn't realize he had a merch page. Like I'd never clicked on his
Yeah.
link tree. He's got a link tree in his bio on his TikTok. If you guys are looking for where to find him anywhere else on social media. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I really wanted to shout him out. Just I feel like he can't be talked about enough. I think we need more of that just in today's world.
Yes.
That just genuine, unbridled positivity and just kindness. I love it.
And it doesn't seem like there appears to be any other agenda
No.
other than just living life and capturing it and capturing that
Sharing it,
essence.
and sharing it with everybody.
Yeah. And I think if you it's the kind of people you want to support.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure what he does for a living.
I don't know.
Well, the kind of lifestyle he leads, he probably doesn't have to do much.
Probably not.
I mean, it's a low key. Not saying that his lifestyle isn't a nice lifestyle. It's just it appears to be
yeah.
off the grid. Kind of. I say off the grid. He has electricity, so it's not off the
Yeah,
grid.
but
More
he's-
off the grid than most.
Yeah.
Like by far most. It looks like he just is in the middle of the woods
Yeah.
in his.
Built his cabin. Literally looks like he built it.
Yeah,
You know?
he has an old like a cube, like a box TV.
Yeah.
And this gnat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna murder a gnat. He is just so simple.
Yeah.
And loves it and soaks
Yep.
it up and plays old school Nintendo, and I don't know. It's
And it's like I said, it's great just scrolling through TikTok and just that hey buddy, just popping up like it's so just.
well, you
I
said
know
something.
I'm in for just a good time.
You said something to me about him before we both realized we both follow him.
Yeah.
And watch his stuff. The way you described it was you said every time I come across one of his videos at that moment, I don't know that you put it like this, but it was like what I heard from you was I know for the duration of this video, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Like,
pretty much.
I'm good.
I don't have to worry about anything.
You don't have to worry about anything for that next however long his video
Other than
is.
whatever hockey's doing, whether that's cooking, fishing. I mean, it's cool. He takes you on these weird little adventures. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, all right, today we're gonna cook. What is it?
The Fluffer Nutter.
Fluffer Nutter.
I know how to make
Yeah.
a Fluffer Nutter now
Yeah.
because of him.
Like, and he goes through and you're gonna do it this way, and it's just so.
And a couple of cold pops.
And a couple of cold pops.
And it's usually ginger ale.
Yeah.
I forgot the brand. It starts with a V.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm
yeah.
a Schweppes kind of guy. Or
I don't
know. I like Canada Dry too, but
I've had that ginger ale,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, I haven't. As soon as I
Yeah.
watched him crack open the first one, I'm like, oh, I've had that
Yeah.
ginger ale before, and it immediately took me
Nice.
back to that memory. And yeah, so Fluffernutter, 2 pieces of bread, peanut butter, slices of banana,
Yeah.
marshmallow fluff,
And then you just grill
put it together, and you grill it in a pan,
Yeah.
and you enjoy it with a cold pop.
Yep. And with some, I think he played NHL on that one.
I think you're
Or
right.
he'll watch Jurassic Park, you know?
That's what it was.
Jurassic
He watched Jurassic Park on the
Yeah.
Fluffernutter video.
Yeah. It's so just...
Because I showed my dad. I showed my dad him, and one of my favorite ones was him crossing a stream, and it was like up to his waist, and he
Yeah.
had Donnybrook in like this carrier.
Yeah.
Like it was strapped around his midsection, and he picks him up with one hand, and he's like toting him across the water, and like the only thing that was getting wet was Donnybrooks paws.
Donnybrook ain't no...
He's no
He's
light
so small.
puppy.
Yeah. We're not talking about a Chihuahua here. I don't know what he is, but...
There is I don't mean to get sidetracked.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm telling you about this TikTok. There's another channel that does songs about animals. I think
Oh.
it might be just dogs.
Yeah.
It might be dogs and cats.
Okay.
It was like songs about paws, or I forgot the channel's name.
Okay.
Something like that. And they feature like TikTok is full of like popular pets,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yep.
Donnybrook being one of them. And
Oh, they featured Donnybrook?
they featured Donnybrook,
Nice.
and it's such a cool song.
What-
And he gets in like they played a song. They created a song.
Yeah.
Talk about creating stuff. They created a song that got in the vibe, the style of Fritz. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's his. I say shoot name. I mean real
Yeah.
name. Another wrestling term for you. His shoot name is Fritz or not, but it's
Yeah.
Fritz and Donnybrook.
Okay.
It was like they sang about Fritz, they sang about Donnybrook, and they used kind of his accent
Yeah.
and that lighthearted,
That's nice.
whatever. I don't know. I have to find it.
Okay. I wonder if they had Tatum on there. Morgan's all the time watching Tatum.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Is that bulldog?
Yeah.
He kind of talks like this. He's
Yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
kidding. I like chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
I think he's a little bit higher pitched than that, but
yeah.
gosh, she'll lay down in bed and she'll be like, "All right, got to catch up on Tatum," and she'll just hit his Instagram and scroll down to wherever she left off last, and she may not have watched it in a couple of days, so there's 5 new Tatum posts.
Yeah. While I'm thinking about it, I want to apologize. While you were talking about hockey,
Yeah.
old time hockey, I interrupted you and mentioned that we had 2 new TikTok followers.
Oh, that's fine.
Now-
You don't have to apologize.
Well, it was kind of rude, and it was such a lame reason to
Yeah.
interrupt
Way
over
to be a
2
dick.
over 2 TikTok followers. But if you've
God!
known us and our TikTok journey,
Yeah, it's been rough.
it's been rough, man. And see, a year ago, I posted a video. It got up to like almost 60,000 likes, and I
Yeah.
gained almost 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
So I thought, with all the stuff that we are doing, it would be
to.
super easy.
Yeah. No.
No, quite the opposite. So getting 2 new followers off of just one little video that we just uploaded,
Yeah.
is a
Well,
big deal.
It's not a little video. That's a main channel video.
It was a main channel video.
That's our Get Good scrub.
Yes.
Again, haven't seen that. Go check it out. Check that out. Check out Replay Catches Everything with Jim and Trent.
2
and
characters
then
that will be resurfacing again.
something else I want to talk about before we get out of here. Along
Okay.
that same vein, I don't want this to fizzle out, die. I want to do the Ghost Hunters too.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You're so right.
Yeah. John Crucifix and
Oh, man.
Troy. What did I say my last name was? Troy Phantasm.
Troy
Or
Phantasm.
Troy Phantom. Troy Phantom. That's what it was.
Okay. Man, I'm glad you said something.
Yeah, John Crucifix and Troy Phantom.
That
Ghost
was-
Hunters Extraordinaire.
We
That's
come up with
another
so much stuff.
Well, that started because I was watching Scooby Doo with my daughter.
Right.
And I was in there. I had it on in the living room.
When I
walked into the
started
kitchen.
watching, and we started laughing at all the...
And, well, I looked at Josh and I was like, I want to do a Scooby Doo chase scene where they,
Yeah.
and they're running around and they hide in the barrels and then they go in one door and out the other door. I was like, I want to do that. And then it snowballed into this, like, what are there these college ghost hunters that are going to fucking ghost hunting school?
We both got letters in the mail, letters of
Hogwarts.
acceptance.
Yeah, letters of acceptance.
And I'm like, did you apply here? No. Did
No,
you
I didn't
apply
even know-
here?
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I guess I didn't get in anywhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just go.
Maybe let's do it. Get our parents off our backs. So we go to the school, And that can be implied. I don't think we need to show us going to school, but it would follow us on our adventures, these mishaps.
We wanted to turn it into a show.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, maybe it's like, hey kids, for your first project, you're gonna have a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's like some convoluted way. Oh, I don't want to get into it now, but I
Yeah.
just thought of another. Like, why are we there? Like, it just seems so random.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
did you get accepted? Whatever. It could all be a secret ploy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There could be an overarching story that, like, behind the, like, I love like shows that do that. Like, best example. Well, I say best example for me. The one that comes to mind first is Rick and Morty. Like, for the first 2 seasons, there's this whole overarching story going on behind the scenes that you kind of that kind of unfolds and develops throughout those first 2 seasons, while all the sitcom shenanigans are just going on. And so, I don't know. I love stuff that House kind of did that, you know? Like, you would have, like, drama and stuff that would be going on in the background while he's solving these cases, and then it would come to, like, the end of the episode, and you get, like, 2 minutes of this overarching story that folds into the plot. And I love stuff like that. So, I would love to do something like that with this.
Yeah, I mean, the more creative we can get. I mean, Jim and Trent, it started as just a simple idea.
Yeah.
I think everything we've done, we have just piggybacked. That's not for you to necessarily read now.
I'm going to read it
I'm not
now.
like... It's just a reminder for when we talk about G-Hunters. Josh had an idea.
Oh, G-Hunters. I was like, what the hell is a bunter?
It was my... I didn't put enough curve on the G. I'm over here writing like this.
What the
I'm like, I'm all cocked, drawing.
That's like Doy.
Yeah, instead of dog, is Doy.
Yeah, Doy.
Doy the dog.
Doy the dog.
It could be a dog. His
Could
name's
be, yeah.
Doy.
His name's Doy.
That's
That
how we
kind of
solved
negates
that.
the whole romantic relationship that you and Morgan were coming up with him and Lauren the other day. But
Yeah, that's right. Well, it really does. If you
Yeah.
if you put in the dog, now it's even
Yeah,
weirder.
now it's weird.
Now Lauren. No, it wasn't Lauren.
I don't know, man.
No, it wasn't Lauren. It was Mayo.
Mayo. That's right. Doy and Mayo. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So Josh had these kiwis. He's been eating a lot of kiwis, and he had 5 of them.
I
He
do
had
stuff
5
like
of 'em.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just eat healthy shit. I don't know why you bring it into my house. And he had them lined up like, so on my stove. Like
I call it Kiwi Alley.
Yeah, Kiwi Alley. It really is. So you've got the countertop where my stove sits. Like it's inlaid. It's an electric stove, and it's like a flat top. Anyways, not.
It's like a ceramic top.
It doesn't matter.
Which I guess they all are.
There's about, I don't know, like 3.5 inches of space between that and the tile wall that goes up. Like,
The ceramic tile.
if you watch the Get Good scrub, you see it. You see the wall right there.
Yeah.
There's that wall right there.
Another
right
reason
next
for you
to
to
the
go watch
stove.
Get Good
Yeah, now you
Scrub.
can figure out what I'm talking about. Anyways, there's this little 3-inch alley that goes all the way up past the stove.
Yeah.
And he lined his kiwis up there because he's like, oh, well, I'm taking up all this space with my box. I got this big box of kiwis. He goes, I'm just going to line them up right here because it's not used. I was like, okay, that's a nice boat that just drove past. Anyways.
It was attached to a car. I assumed.
It was.
But see, I don't know. I looked over and all I
Mermaid
saw,
Man and Barnacle Boy.
I looked over and all I saw was the back of the boat. And you're like, that was a nice boat that just drove by.
Yeah. Anyways, you got Kiwi Alley over here. It's lined up next to my stove, and so I took a dry erase marker because it's my house and I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I wrote on the tile.
Yeah.
I wrote names for them because I felt like they're lined up. They needed names, so I'm writing down, and I was like, "Oh, what's a stupid name?" I was like, "Dog." Like, I'll just name it Dog. Like, who names a person Dog?
Yeah.
It's like like, oh, this is my dog Trent. Like, you probably should have named it something else.
Yeah.
This is my dog Doug. And I had Mayo, and I was just writing out stupid names, and he goes, Doy? And I'm cocked like this, having to write, and so my G looks like a Y, so it's Doy. Anyways, there's your Kiwi story.
Well, and then Morgan thought that the name Matt was...
It was Matt.
Looked
She was
like
Mayo. I was like, all right, guys.
So Lauren was the girl who makes it, the attractive young girl who makes it until the end of the horror film.
Yeah.
Mayo was
And
kind of
Doy.
the skanky girl.
Yeah.
And Doy was
I guess
just kind of the
picture
loser.
like a big, lovable jock. Like, you guys started talking about him like he's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I pictured, was like the big, lovable jock that, like, all he knows is sports. Like,
Right.
he doesn't need street smarts or anything because he's going to get into fucking, I don't know,
Yeah.
Clemson and be a quarterback or linebacker, Like,
Right.
That's doy.
Well, and then Matt and Mayo used to have a thing.
Yeah, something like that. Sure.
But Mayo wanted to make Matt jealous. Mayo wanted to make not Matt, Chris.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember what all I wrote in there.
Chris was
you guys dove way into this more than I thought it would. I was just being stupid and writing names.
We
and they
created
came
a
up with
whole
like a
horror movie, like
like a 4-point plot point, like plot-driven
4-point
horror
plot
movie.
point.
Yeah, horror movie with like twists and all kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, guys, talk about creating shit.
We did, and see, that's what I love in this household.
Yeah.
Between you and I, Morgan and I, you and Morgan, and the three of us combined. Like, it's just constantly stuff like this.
Yeah.
And if you ever, I don't know, have creator's block, start hanging out with people.
Yeah.
Start hang out with your buddy. And
Go move in with your friend and their wife.
Yeah. You know.
If you got a creator's block, just do that. Just move out. Move in with a buddy and their spouse. And you'll never...
If you ever go through a life transition and somebody says, hey, you can stay here rather than paying for rent somewhere.
Yeah.
Take them up on it.
Yeah.
And it might turn into something beautiful.
Yeah, it might. Or it might be tragic. Who knows?
Yeah, it could completely separate. It could drive a wedge between you and those friends.
Yeah. Not that we're qualified for any sort of life advice, but...
Well, who knows?
Oh, man. All right.
Yeah.
That's some good shit. That's some
think
good creating
so.
that we cooked up here in Casa de la CS.
CS Studio. Casa de la CS.
Casa de la CS Studio.
Casa de la CS Studio. There it is.
Fucking poster, man.
Every
time I look at it, it just makes me happy.
Well, and if you're watching, the reason it's over to the right so much is because
There's already a screw there.
there's already a thing sticking out of the wall for us to hang it on.
Yeah.
We're going to have to... oh, by the way, before I forget, they're called brick hooks.
Oh, okay.
And you
There's a
can
thing.
get them from... I watched 5 different videos on how to hang a picture on brick just without having to screw into the wall. I can get a special drill and all that. And all 5 said the same thing. I'm like, you're going to talk about the brick hook, aren't you? And it's like, go to your local hardware store. I'm like, here it comes.
At video 3, why didn't you... I'd have stopped. Why would you watch 5?
So that I could find something that's already in this house.
Oh, no.
Instead of having to go to the hardware store.
No, we're going to... I'm fine going with the hardware store.
Go to Ace right here. That's
Or
like right...
Harbor Freight's right here.
or
Harbor Freight's technically closer than Ace. Technically.
Sure. But apparently you get a pack of 2 for like $4 to $6.
Oh, yeah. No, we can do that.
And that can be the start of our gallery, which I guess this will be in the spotlight.
Yeah,
but once
so
we add more...
We'll measure out. I don't know how much space you think. We're going to do this on the podcast because we're creating shit.
That's right.
How much space you think? I mean, if we were to space it out, I don't know, about that much in between the posters, you could. So you could probably fit 3, maybe 4 up there.
And then we could
from
always
over
just
here.
make sure the table is scooted out a little bit, and we can come down.
Yeah, and we can go
I
up.
don't know that the camera is going to be able to... Like, the camera would pick up that there is
Yeah.
posters below. You just wouldn't be able to see as much because of this guy.
Well, and I've got the other 3. Spoiler alert! I went and I bought 5 frames off of Amazon for cheap and got my money's worth with them. So, and I mean that looks nice, that frame.
Yeah.
And it's plexiglass. No, it's not plexiglass. It's plastic. So like I don't have to worry if that falls off there. It's not going to shatter. It might break the frame, but it's not going to break glass. But I got 3 more that we can line up and actually check the spacing on.
Okay.
We could actually hang them instead of having to wait.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
All right, well,
Let's get out of here. I've got a road trip to North Carolina to catch.
Yep.
But with that being said, I've been the Scottish Hush Puppy, and I got some food to go eat.
Until then, my ghastly gang, stay spooky. And I got to get up and turn this.
Okay. Do you want to add it in post?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, we could be talking and, like, since I really can't hear it, like, just knowing that the
Jordan Bell stirred. Jordan Bell stirred.
Create shit. Build anything. Make it real.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Bell third. Stacking penny stocks